Hey, this is Rich over at TVP Live in Orange County, California, and today's little tutorial on Photoshop Elements is going to be on this poster who wanted this picture fixed. Obviously, you can see that there's some shadows that need to be taken out. This might take a little bit of while, so we're going to just dive right in and fast forward when we need to. All right, first things first, let's straighten this picture out a little bit. So, oh, I see what happens. They wanted the houses to be straight, sort of. So, but they kind of overcompensated it, so we're just going to leave it right around there. Okay, next, let's take a look at the whole picture. The part that's bad is just this shadowed part. Everything else is kind of okay. So, my guess would be to leave the background alone. So, I'm going to make a duplicate in case I make a mistake. I always make duplicates before I do anything in case I don't like it. I'm going to hit the Enhance and Auto Smart, and you see what it did? It just made the background a little more contrasty, which is kind of nice. It darkened it a little bit because there's a little bit of hot spots here. So I like that. Next, we can color temperature it, but before we do that, let's get rid of this foreground because that's what we're going to work on. Once we get the background the way we want it. And I think we're okay with it. It looks pretty smart. Maybe we'll try auto color correction. Let's see what happens. Okay, I like that. It brought in a little bit more reds here. Looks good. Let's go ahead and keep that. Maybe enhance it and just add a little bit of blue. So we're going to go to the auto hue. I'm sorry. Yeah, hue and saturation. And we're going to go to the blues and just add a little bit of blues to the whole thing. And that'll give us a little bit more blues. All right, we're good with that. Now I'm going to delete my copy and make another copy of this fixed background image. Now let's work with this foreground. I'm going to turn off the copy and let's work with this. Let's grab the portion that needs to be fixed. But in order to do that, let's grab all of our foreground that we want. So I'm going to take the eraser and do like I always do, is basically cut out our subjects. Since you can see if we zoom in, it's a fuzzy picture, so we don't need a sharp tool. So we'll take a nice soft brush, but then make it a small one, that's 5 point. And we're just going to basically trace around the edge of our image. Okay, so I basically cut with an eraser, I cut a soft line around everybody in the foreground. Now we're going to take our polygon tool, as I always do, my favorite tools, and now we're going to cut out. And this technique is used instead of using the magic tool because this is a lot more accurate. And I know people on the sites love to complain about my old school way because it takes so much longer to do it, and they'd like to do this in 10 seconds, right? Yeah, right. You want to do it right? Guess what? It takes more than 10 seconds. And guess what? It's worth every extra minute spent on it. Okay, so now I drew a circle around the major outlines. I can now right click and select inverse, which selects everything else, and I'll hit delete. I'll fix this image because this is what we're really wanting to do. I wish I could take this glass out of his hand. As a matter of fact, oh gosh, let's go ahead and do that. That sounds like fun. This is an extra freebie for you. I will take the glass out first. We're going to smudge this back up. to what the jacket would look like if it was here. Remember, this is an old picture, so no one's going to notice these little differences here. And if his shoulder comes here, it comes over here like this, it can come down right between his fingers here. And you'll never even notice a difference. I can even go just further up more than I really want to, because I'm going to cut it out anyway. And take the eraser and redraw his shoulder coming down to his fingers here. And there we go. And you almost can't tell. I can probably move his finger down a little bit. Depends on how elaborate you really want to get. But I think it looks better without the cup. Let's get rid of that. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and bring his finger down. Why not? I grabbed the smudge. And you know what? I could have used the smudge if I wanted to. Let's do any fixes before we do an overall fix, because there's parts here that really need to be fixed. So let's take the Band-Aid tool and make a nice, let's see, 10 point. And get rid of all this. And basically, if you draw with the Band-Aid tool, it's going to draw from, it's going to grab what's on either side. And since it's black on either side, but it's not pure black, there's a little bit of noise in it, it will draw with a little bit of noise. So we can leave some of this, because there would be, you know, shadows or whatever. Alright, so we like this, but now let's do what we really came to do, which is bring back the definition and lightness on this picture. Let's make a copy of this and play with that copy, because whatever we do, we want to keep what's good and fix what's bad. So let's go to Enhance, Lighting. Forget about what's good, because we already know what's good. Let's try to fix the bad. We're going to bring the brightness up. Let's bring the brightness down a little bit before, after. That's going to be good, I think. It gives us a little bit more of what he was looking for without totally exaggerating it. So I'm going to grab the actual real smudging tool and make the brush, I don't know, 15 point. And see this, what happens? The whole thing just softens up. So I'm going to take the top and I'm going to erase this brightness here and hopefully get the soft edge of the brush. The brush has to be the perfect size that the edge of the brush doesn't, and as I erase it, it's going to appear to get darker and match better with the lower picture that I fixed. See that? And do the same thing here. Erase the top picture, and if it's a little dark, I can still fix that. And if I like the hair there, I could leave it there and just work on the bright part. See that? Boom. Now let's take that lower picture, which is this one, right? And let's tone down the color just a tad. I'm going to go to Color, Saturation. And I'll exaggerate so you can see, take it all the way off so you can see, and try to find somewhere. I look at the picture, not the bar, and find what looks natural. And when I think it's natural, right around here, I stop and look, and it says +8. So I actually had to add a little bit of color. Now let's pop in the background and see what it looks like. Ready? Boom. It looks a lot better. But there are some hard edges. So what we would do is go to the background and pull in using the smudge brush to, because you see these edges, they're from the original picture. So what you do is you pull it in. Make sure that if there's lines like the car liner in there, that you pull it in the shape of that line. This is a really subtle fix. And it'll only show, and it'll basically sharpen. You remember the cup that was there? And then we took it out, and now it's back. Why? Because it's in the original. But guess what? All you have to do is grab a merging tool and go back to the original picture. Grab what's on either side of it. Merge our colors, which is the colors of the car. So they're going to stand out a little bit more. And this is going to be a little subtle trick. In between these two layers, I'm going to add another layer. And I'm going to take a black brush, big brush, soft brush. Let's try 100 point. This is going to be really subtle. If it's not, that's what it looks like. But basically, you just figured out what I'm going to be doing is adding a little bit of a tiny shadow that's subtle. And all it does is affect the background behind them so they look like they're standing out. Let's go 75%. And that's it. Really simple stuff. Alright, we like that. So now let's go ahead and reframe the photo, and we'll take our cropping tool, and we don't need so much sky, so let's go ahead and make it a little bit smaller. Let's try right around here. And that's pretty much it. That's all she wrote. Let's go with a 20 point smudge here. Smudge the kid's arm in. Oh, how about this? Let's get rid of the date. Just smudge it out. And then smudge everything else around here to match the smudging. And that's it. That's all there is to it. We fixed the picture. That's it for this tutorial. Rich calling it over and out. Have fun. Bye.